Melissa Gilbert finally tells the truth about Melissa Sue Anderson when she is 61 years old. Melissa Gilbert was born on May 8, 1964, in Los Angeles, California. The name she was born with was Melissa Ellen Gilbert. David Darlington and Kathy would had her. At the time of her birth, her biological parents were having a hard time of money and weren't sure if they could give her the security and opportunity she deserves. Because they knew their limits and wanted what was best for Melissa, they made the hard but kind choice to pair her with their new daughter. Airing in, this act of love and preparation early on set them up for a successful future in show business. The day after she was born, Melissa was taken in by famous people Paul Gilbert and Barbara Crane. She was adopted almost right away. Barbara Crane had been a dancer and an actress before she joined the family. Paul Gilbert, on the other hand, had been an actor for many years. She was also the daughter of Harry Crane, a famous comic book artist whose work was published in some of the most famous moments in the history of TV. Melissa learned about the arts at a very young age because she grew up in a home that values creativity, performance, and the demands of Hollywood life. The split of her adoptive parents when she was 8 years old was a big event in her early life that changed how she was raised. Barbara would later marry Harold Beals, but they would later get a divorce. This second marriage gave birth to Sarah Rebecca Beals on January 29, 1975. She is Melissa's half-sister. Sarah will become known as Sarah Gilbert on stage, make a good living on TV, mostly on Roseanne. He was Melissa's adopted father. Paul Gilbert died on February 13, 1976, after having a stroke. Melissa was young at the time, so she had to deal with life without him. Even though these things happened, she grew up in a Jewish home and followed its rules and customs. She was never officially converted, though, because of the spiritual base. She had a very full and varied childhood. It was clear from the start that Melissa was very good at being a performer. She learned how to act and do theater at a young age because she was naturally good at it, and her adoptive parents worked in Hollywood. It was ads that got her started in her work. Along with the famous actor Lorne Greene, she worked on one of her first jobs at Alpo Dog Food. These chances not only helped her improve her skills, but they also made her more aware of how tough and competitive the business is. Melissa got her big break in her career when she was cast as Laura Ingalls, Charles Ingalls' second oldest daughter. Michael Landon played him on the NBC show Little House on the Prairie. More than 500 kids applied for the part, which made the casting process very hard. Melissa got the part because of her natural charm, dedication, and attitude on screen. Melissa's choice was told to her by Leslie Landon, who went to the same school as her and is the daughter of Michael Landon. Jonathan Gilbert, her brother, played Willie Olson on the show, too. From 1974 to 1983, the show ran. The first production started in 1973. A period story that got better over time was liked by people of all ages, and Melissa's role as Laura made her famous. Melissa's first job was on the show Little House on the Prairie. She went on to build her TV business and do well in movies. The Miracle Worker, 1979, The Diary of Anne Frank, 1980, and Choices of the Heart, 1983, in which she played the kind Jean Donovan, were some of her most famous parts. She played more grown-up parts as she got older, like in Choices, 1986, and A Family of Strangers, 1993. Melissa did voice work for both animation and live-action TV shows. She was best remembered for her role as Batgirl in the animated show Batman, the movie in the 1990s. In 1996, she played Anna Sheridan in 3 episodes of Babylon 5. She did this with Bruce Boxleitner, who was her husband at the time. At Melissa's job, there were also hard times and projects that didn't work out. Not what people thought would happen with Sweet Justice, 1994, Stand By Your Man, 1992, and Little House, A New Beginning, 1982. For some reason, she kept trying to get a number of jobs. In 2006, she played Sherry Noble, a patient on the TV show Nip Slash Tuck, who was getting a delicate cosmetic surgery. So, this showed that she was ready to work with difficult and unusual stuff. Melissa has also worked on the big screen, but with Little House on the Prairie, she went back to her roots in the theater. She played Caroline Ingalls in the musical version of the show that ran from 2008 to 2009 and was directed by Francesca Zambello. On June 2010, the show ended its national tour at the Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri. It started at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis. By taking this step, she was able to reconnect with the audience in a live performance setting, showing her dedication to the story that had been important to her for a long time. Melissa also wrote a book called A Prairie Tale, a memoir in 2009 that was about her personal and work life. Fans got a look at her family life, job, and personal and professional growth behind the scenes. She kept acting in different shows like The Christmas Pageant in 2011. She also learned how to dance and competed on the 14th season of Dancing with the Stars in 2012, going up against the experienced Maxim Shmerkovsky. Although she did a great job, she was fired on her birthday in the 7th episode, despite her great work. Melissa's goals went beyond just having fun after she showed how strong, graceful, and competitive she was. That same day, August 10th, 2015, she said she would run for the U.S. House of Representatives from Michigan's 8th Congressional District in 2016. She later dropped out of the race, though, because a spinal injury was making her sick. She did a lot more than just act and volunteer. She started Half Pint Productions, which gave her creative power over projects and helped other artists. She was also a director and producer. Melissa Gilbert's relationships, especially her marriages, have had a big impact on her daily life. They show different stages of her life and how she has grown as a person and in her career. In 1988, she married actor Bo Brinkman for the first time. Brinkman, who is known for his work in theater and TV, played a big part in Melissa's life as she went from being a kid star to an adult actor and found her way in Hollywood and her own identity. Their marriage did have problems, though, as many do when both people have hard jobs that require long hours and a lot of attention from the public. They chose to split up after 6 years of marriage, and they got a divorce in 1994. The breakup didn't work out, but Melissa learned a lot about herself and what she wanted in a partner during that time. In 1995, not long after her first marriage, Melissa married Bruce Boxleitner. Boxleitner is an actor who is known for his parts in science fiction TV shows like Scarecrow and Mrs. In their personal lives and at work, King and Melissa got along great. During their 16-year marriage, they had to deal with the stress of family, work, and the public eye. They were famous in Hollywood for being together and helped each other with their personal and business goals. The marriage ended in 2011, even though they liked each other and had similar situations. Their breakup showed how hard it is to keep a relationship going when you're in the public eye. Work, family, and personal growth can put a strain on even the closest ties. She fell in love again when she married Timothy Busfield in 2013. Busfield is a skilled actor and director who has worked on TV shows like The West Wing and 30-something. Her life became more stable and grown up after she got married. Melissa had been through a lot in her life and was more aware of her wants and needs than she had been in her previous marriages. Timothy's calm personality and artistic background went well with Melissa's energy and taste in art, making them a great match. Their friendship and similar beliefs made their bond stronger. Like Melissa found in her previous relationships, strong emotional support, teamwork, and a willingness to work together have made their marriage much better. Finally, Melissa Gilbert wrote an honest and very personal article about her friendship with Melissa Sue Anderson, her longtime co-star on Little House on the Prairie, when she was 61 years old. Fans learned things about the relationship from the article that they had thought about for a long time, but never fully understood. Gilbert was honest when she said that her relationship with Anderson was strong, complicated, and sometimes hard. Gilbert said, "We were linked from the start. Being in Little House on the Prairie made us famous and got a lot of attention when we were so young. That helps people connect in a special way, but it wasn't always easy." You can relate to what she said about how hard it is to grow up in front of the camera and the pressures that come with being a kid star. In more detail, Gilbert said that while their TV figures had great relationships with their friends and family, real-life relationships were a lot harder. Everyone thought we were cute little girls. Live great lives. But the truth is that we were just kids figuring out how to live in a very strange place, she said. In her work, Melissa Gilbert has talked about how relationships change over time. She talked about how their relationship had changed over time. She said that as they got older, both of them had personal and work problems, as well as times when they learned more about themselves. Gilbert said, "We all had our own paths. It's normal for those paths to go in different directions sometimes. You have to learn to live without someone, even if you love them very much." Because Gilbert is being honest, it shows that he has grown enough to know that relationships change over time, even ones that started out in strange ways. She knew that they had never met and been mean to each other. She also said that they learned that growing up together in the spotlight makes for a special bond that is different from most friendships. Throughout her reflection, Gilbert showed a lot of respect and love for Anderson's skills and personality. "She is one of the nicest and smartest people I've ever met," she told Melissa Sue. "I learned a lot about professionalism, patience, and the power of quiet strength from working with her." Gilbert talked about times on set when Anderson's hard work and dedication motivated her to become a better person and actor. As she talked, she said that the performers, crew, and directors became like a family and that they became close with each other. She did say, though, that the busy routine, long hours, and attention from the public could make small problems worse. "Being watched all the time as a child changes you," Gilbert thought. "There were times when I felt jealous, confused, and unsafe, but that's what it's like to grow up in a world that doesn't let you be a kid." Gilbert then talked about why she chose to be so open at age 61. She said, "I think getting older gives you perspective. When you're young, your thoughts and feelings can cloud your view of the world. When I look back, I can now see the whole picture. I don't have to defend or explain myself to other people. I can enjoy our shared past, including the good and bad times." Many people who have followed her work can relate to what she said because it shows a very human level of self-reflection and sensitivity. It's clear that Gilbert's choice to talk about Anderson now is not an attempt to make peace or bring up old fights. It's more of an attempt to recognize how complicated a relationship that had been going on for a long time is that has affected the lives of both women. Last but not least, Gilbert's comments show fans that people might not always understand relationships that start when a person is young, especially if that person is famous. She says, "People assume that if two people collaborate on a show, they will be best friends forever. But friendship isn't just about money," she said next. "When, if, and how close the situations are play a role. Melissa Sue and I were together for some of the most important years of my life. No matter how things look now, the link will always be there." Gilbert's words are a powerful reminder of how early events can have long-lasting effects, how strong you need to be to deal with public life, and the complicated truths that lie beneath the seemingly perfect surface of child fame. Anderson and all the ties that form, last, and change in ways that the outside world might not always be able to see are honored by her honesty.